Member for Karama.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Crime and antisocial behaviour associated with some public housing tenancies continues to be the major issue raised with me by local residents of my Karama electorate. And on their behalf, I continue to vigorously advocate their concerns with our government, including to relevant ministers and agencies, such as our Chief Minister and Police Minister, the Honourable Leah Finocchiaro MLA, the Minister for Housing, the Honourable Steve Edgington MLA, and with senior police and Department of Housing staff. For example, earlier this month I took the Minister for Housing out to meet with a number of local residents in Karama to discuss their long-standing concerns about some neighbouring public housing tenancies which have and continue to destroy their lifestyle, including one young family in Copra Crescent, Karama. This young, wonderful couple, who just had their first child some 7 weeks ago, bought their house some 2.5 years ago and have invested significant money into it to create a fantastic home and garden to live in. This couple both have jobs and dearly wish to stay and raise their family here in Karama and in the Northern Territory. Except this dream has been ruined by the ongoing antisocial behaviour, including continual loud music to 5 a.m. in the morning, screaming and fighting and drunken behaviour from often up to 20 people staying at an overgrown and rubbish-laden neighbouring public housing tenancy just up the road in Menunda Terrace. This same house in Menunda Terrace has been subject of multiple police and housing complaints over a number of years from many of the neighbouring residents, including accusations of drug dealing. And just last weekend, one of the fugitives from the recent shocking shooting at Nightcliff was arrested hiding in this same house. The sad consequence of all this trauma, including severe sleep deprivation for the young mother during her pregnancy from all the ongoing noise and violence, is that this couple are now looking to sell their house at a financial loss and move interstate to try and restore their lifestyle. Madam Speaker, what a shame, as these are the type of people we need to desperately keep in the Territory to help build our economy and population. The Minister and myself also met another middle-aged couple who own their own house, who have similar concerns over the last 3 years with some public housing tenancies in Fig Court, Karama. They have already invested almost $60,000 in strengthening the security of their house, but still have long-standing issues with antisocial behaviour. After many years of ruining the lives of neighbours, one of these public houses has recently been vacated. But the Minister and myself saw about 3 trades vans at the property doing major repairs to the vacated house at great public expense. The couple's greatest fear is that, once fixed, the Department of Housing will put in another batch of tenants that will be no better and maybe worse than the previous tenants. They are pleading with the Department of Housing to truly vet the next tenants to ensure they will respect the neighbourhood. Madam Speaker, the Minister and myself also visited an abandoned house in Wiley Court that was left in a total state of disrepair several months ago. These are just 3 of multiple examples that I could give about how our neighbourhoods are being destroyed in Karama and Malak by a failed public housing policy inherited by this government from the disastrous Labor government. I also want to thank the Minister for Housing and the Minister for Territory Families for coming to a public forum in Malak that I hosted early in November with some 50+ residents to hear their serious concerns as to how the escalating antisocial behaviour in some public housing tenancies has destroyed their lifestyle and impacted severely on their physical and emotional well-being. As I mentioned in my maiden speech, for those residents living in Karama, Malak and Nucky Lagoon, severely affected by antisocial behaviour in public housing tenancies, including those who live in Mistletoe Crescent, Dorrigo Crescent, Delwood Crescent, Tabletop Crescent, Fawcett Court, Kajara Court, Kalama Court and Applegum Drive, to name a few, I am here for you. Madam Speaker, as I mentioned in an earlier speech today, myself and the members for Blaine and Drysdale have all been advocating for legislative reform, including amendments to the Residential Tenancy Act, to emphasise that public housing is a privilege, and we want to see real and strong consequences, including much speedier eviction when irresponsible tenants use their house for criminal activities including drug dealing, cause significant damage to their public house, or continually breach orders regarding antisocial behaviour that destroys our neighbourhoods. We also have issues regarding the overly high density of public housing in Karama Malak and other suburbs in Palmerston. And we urgently need to sell off stock, including abandoned houses, to reduce this density to more community acceptable levels. We are fed up with parts of our suburbs becoming the ghettos of Darwin and Palmerston. Enough is enough. Madam Speaker, as I also mentioned today, I am particularly heartened by the Minister for Housing's announcement yesterday that we are looking to make substantial legislative reforms and other measures to make tenants responsible and accountable for their behaviour. The Minister went on to say, and I quote, "The pendulum has swung far too much in defending the rights of individuals, and we will take action. In 2025, we will act on public housing reform. We will look at the Residential Tenancies Act and how it aligns with community expectations." He further went on to say, "The visitor management, tenancy management and red card policy all need review." Now, the Minister also cited a specific example brought to his attention when one tenant had 62 red card demerit points under Labor and was allowed to continue living in that house. This has all been allowed to happen while there has been an 8 to 10 year wait list, noting there are many good people on that wait list looking for housing and willing to do the right thing. Madam Speaker, this year we will act. And to the residents of Karama, Malak and Nucky Lagoon, I say again, I'm here for you. And this government, including the Minister, myself and my MLA colleagues, are working to support our territory community by strengthening our housing policies so we can evict when need to. So, Madam Speaker, let me make it very, very clear. I am a strong supporter of the need for public housing, and I have many deserving residents who respect the privilege of being allocated public housing, and many others on the 8 to 10 year waiting list who would do exactly the same. However, here is a message for those tenants that blatantly disrespect this privilege and assume they are free to destroy our neighbourhoods. Your time is up. And I said earlier to the responsible residents of Karama, Malak and Nucky Lagoon, I'm here for you. Thank you.